to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast.
All right. Thanks for dropping into the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. I'm Tron, and I'm here with the 10-inch How was the motherfucking week in the Warzone, Cowboy?
Oh, it was a good week. I had some of the highest highs I might have ever had in the Warzone this week.
Really?
I've started to dial in a weapon that I'm feeling super confident with. Oh, it was great. How was your week?
Well, you had the highest highs. For me, it was really hitting some of the lowest lows I've had in a long time. Most recently,
Wow.
we'll get into it, but today, bad luck. Yesterday, bad luck. Day before, bad luck. I guess when you put that all together, maybe not so much bad luck, but certainly bad times for your boy Tron in the Warzone, getting fucking destroyed. But the flip side, I do have some exciting things to share with our listeners, so I guess we can just dive on into it. Let's hear about that gun that you're excited about. Put it on the table. Let's take a look at it.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's no secret. I think I mentioned it last week, and I think a lot of people are starting to use it now. I've seen some streamers playing with it. The Kar, the semi-automatic marksman rifle, is that would be the technical term?
The Kar 98, yes. I believe it's a marksman rifle.
It is so much fun. I think I have found a lane in which I may be above average, and it is sniping. I feel so good. We played in a quad this week with a couple buddies of ours, and a friend of ours died and was spectating me. And I went on a 6-kill tear in like a 3-minute period with the Kar, and it was so much fun. And that's on the big map, ladies and gentlemen. That's not in the Rebirth Resurgent mode. Just throwing that out there. I feel like getting kills and wins on the big map is still far superior to the small map, even though the small map is really fun.
Yeah, it's higher stakes in Verdansk, and you shared the replay of that from your perspective. For context for our listeners, I think you and I were the only two really alive towards the end of that, and you, in many instances, saved my ass with some of these Kar snipes headshots. I come to find on watching the replay. Series of headshots. That's right. You're hearing me correctly, listeners. The Cowboy was having a series of headshots, which, as you know, with the Kar 98, results in an instant down. Many of those didn't end up being kills because some of his follow-up shots were a little questionable. But I agree. I think, like, I kind of had a moment putting it all together. Like, it's like when the reality flashes in front of the detective and he finally solves the crime or whatever. Realizes the connection is like watching replays of you with horrid aiming. I think a lot of it is because just like your movement with the cursor on the aimer, it's a little slower, it's a little more methodical, and that doesn't work out so much in, close combat, close quarters, toe-to-toe shit. But when it comes to sniping, like I was watching, it was like gliding through the air like a fucking butterfly. Any thoughts on that?
Wow, I'm so happy that it's on record that you've described my sniping play like a butterfly moving through the air. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a big word time, a proclivity for fucking spazzing out at people when I'm shooting. And when I'm sniping, it's not as jerky. I think it's because when you're sniping, I mean, obviously there can be threats, like someone else, if you're having like a snipe back and forth, you're playing tag with another sniper, that's one thing. But it's not there's no immediate danger where it's like, oh my God, you just like soil yourself. It's not like that with sniping. It's very calm. You're collected. You're looking, you're almost like you're finding your prey as more so. And it's like, there's less like, more, I don't know how to describe it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's less opportunity for me to completely shit myself, spaz out, and then completely miss a short range shot,
Yeah, and I was excited to see it. Pretty cool stuff. We didn't end up winning. We got pinned down.
We got a video of it. We're debating if we want to put it on the YouTube just because it's kind of anti-brand. I'm actually playing well.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? I don't look like an amateur in this clip, frankly.
Well, there's certainly some moments of amateurism.
There's definitely some moments, yeah.
So perhaps it'll be one of our future breakdowns. But that said, yeah, really finding your flow with that Kar 98.
You've been using the Kar too, right?
I've been playing with the car, not having the same level of success, but certainly getting a little bit of the hang for it. I finally have it fully leveled up, have the ideal loadout for it, and I'm still working towards the new cursor. I really don't like that default cursor on this Car 98, but
Let me stop you right there. Can you describe for me, because I don't know, and our listeners, how do you update the cursor? How are you getting these different cursors? Because I've seen cool ones. How do you get them?
I don't think it's called the cursor. I think it's called the reticle, right? Either way.
The reticle. Yes, it's the crosshair, essentially. You're looking down the scope in.
Crosshair, yes, there we go. And as we said, the default one for the Car 98, not very good. The way you unlock those is you need to have the sniper scope equipped on your Car 98. You'll find it there. It's simply listed as the sniper scope. Throw that on, and then you need to amass, I think, 200 kills is the first threshold to level up.
What? 200 kills?
200 kills. However, that's the bad news. The good news is the very first one you get to is, in my opinion, one of the best. So if you can reach that 200 kill threshold, maybe, in 2023 or whatever it may be, you're going to get that. So
yeah, give me a couple dozen episodes before I get to that threshold. I mean, at minimum, that's going to be a while. I mean, yeah, I had a good game, but 200 kills that's months of work for your boy.
Yeah, that's mining for gold, literally, in terms of our time. But that was your foray this week. I was inspired by you, embracing these more lethal guns, these more aggressive guns. And I at the urging of some friends, took a gander at the old AMAX, which,
Ooh,
ironically enough, I leveled up a good amount way back in the day when I told you, I think I mentioned on the podcast, there was a time when I was a vagabond, just like searching the desert for my favorite gun. And so I tried out a shit ton of ARs, leveled up a bunch of them, and the AMAX was one of them. But ultimately I was just like, the recoil is too much. Well, I decided to revisit it this week. Recoil, still a lot. I was getting bucked off the Bronco there. This thing's like riding a bull, this AMAX, okay? But when you kick, it's like the force of that bull's horns right inside of you. So it's kind of worth it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to work on it in the Rebirth Island. And I was playing around. The big question with the AMAX in the AMAX community is which foregrip is best. Now, the stats and the, numbers would suggest the Commando foregrip is, but I've used that on this thing and it's not that effective. So I tried the Ranger, and then most recently I tried the fucking tactical foregrip. And I'm saying right now, get out there, try the tactical foregrip, see if you guys like it. Also heard the Merc's good.
so that's the conclusion. The Tron conclusion is the tactical foregrip is best.
That's the Tron endorsement. I need to do a little bit more in-depth testing, but that said, I think I might be taking a break from the M13 for a little bit. The M13, again, is my love. I have power with it, but when you're doing 50-50 gunfights and you have the AMAX, you can trust that you're pretty much going to win those because it just packs a wallop. I'd encourage you to try it, but again, you need to level the thing up to even have a chance to control the fucking thing.
Yeah, what level you got it at now?
I'm just shy of having the monolithic suppressor, which is like the hardest attachment to get for this thing. The last one you're pretty much gonna need. So we're getting there, baby. Might do a plunder or two, or might just do it organically in the zone. But I feel like as I've praised the AK-47 in previous iterations of Call of Duty, I feel like this is what the AK-47 should be, the AMAX. So
Interesting.
if you're out there using it, I know the pros are starting to kind of teeter-totter with it. Check it out. But we make a nice team there with that Kar AMAX, and then you go the MAC-10, maybe short range.
So that's my next point, is that I've found my long-range weapon. The Kar undeniably is my long-range weapon. It steps on the toes, though, of my previous long-range weapon, which is everybody knows is the Strela, which I have been fucking with hard and loving because it's just so explosive. It adds so much. It's so dynamic in a quad. It really provides. I mean, and that's what I love about the long-range weapons. And maybe this is like just how long-range weapons are. But when you kill somebody from distance, it is a gratifying moment, whether it's with the Kar or the Strela. Different kind of explosive excitements inside of you.
Yeah.
The Kar, when you down somebody, it just feels so pure. You ruin their day. and they're just like screaming on the other end, like, what the fuck was that? There's no way that happened.
Yeah, and you know how frightening it is firsthand when you're just playing in the Warzone, and then all of a sudden you hear BAM, and you're just fucking downed out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude. I love it. And the Strela is great because there's nothing more surprising than taking like a couple members of a team out with a rocket, and then they get so mad. It's so much fun. So super high octane excitement with the long range. I don't know what my short range weapon could be. If I go Kar Mac 10, the Mac 10 just isn't a great like mid-range weapon. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't have that much success for it. I've also been fucking with the Gallo shotgun on that Warden's Ward, but a shotgun Kar, I'm really lacking mid-range. So I have been this week fucking with the Kar and the FAR, the FFAR, which I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm not sure if it's FFAR or FAR, but I like saying Kar FAR. So I got the Kar FAR loadout, which has been pretty good to me because I do like the FAR. But if anybody has any suggestions about what my secondary weapon should be next to the Kar, I'm looking for answers because I feel like I've got the long range dialed in. I need to start practicing on the short and mid range, you know?
Yes, definitely the footage would dictate that is true. That said, I got some news for you because Season 1 here is rapidly coming to a close.
Oh my God.
Which means Season 2 is just on the horizon, which means we're going to be having some new weapons introduced into the Warzone. But even crazier is I'm seeing on the internet, people have been playing Plunder. And in Plunder, that slot in your menu, like field upgrade, that becomes available in Plunder. And one of the options is a weapons crate. And people have found that, I don't know if it's some sort of code thing, that there's weapons in the game that aren't yet introduced. They're like on standby for the new season. Well, people have been able to get early access to these guns in Plunder by doing this weapons crate. They'll literally, I guess, have to do like 20 of them to finally randomly get one of these new guns. And they found 2 new weapons that look like they're coming real soon. One of them could be potentially game-breaking. It's called the Skykov pistol. And it is an automatic pistol. So you hold the trigger.
Whoa.
And it is spraying. There's some clips out there on YouTube you'll see of people clearing houses. Again, it's hard to tell because most of the people you kill in Plunder only have 2 fucking plates.
Yes.
But even more interesting I saw is it's called the RAAL or RAAL, and it's an LMG, and it looks pretty badass. So you might, in terms of your second weapon here, maybe be taking a look at one of those 2.
Interesting. You know, if I could have one conversation with Activision, it would be, why do they add extra letters in these weapons like the RAAL? Just call it the RAL. Call it the RAAL. The FFAR. Just call it the FAR. You're confusing a simple-minded person like myself on how to pronounce these weapons because of these bullshit extra letters. But putting that aside, I am excited. I mean, an automatic pistol sounds fascinating. I think that it would be interesting to see what the challenge would be to a Mac 10 FAR situation. Like, are they going to build a new like short-range meta? Because right now, the Mac 10 is pretty girthy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it just becomes a situation where the downside or the trade-off from getting Ghost becomes lessened, because then it's like when people add these dual Diamatis. Imagine a dual upgraded, I don't even know how many rounds you can put in each of them, 40 rounds or something in each hand.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And you can get that with your Ghost loadout. So you're pretty set until you get the second loadout or whatever the hell it is. So that's kind of the thing people are having problems with. And also, we've seen in the past, these dual-wielded pistols, when they're first introduced, can just wreck everything else up close.
Yeah. I wonder what this new LMG is going to look like, because I feel like there's a lot of LMGs out there. Where's the variation? I mean, it's like, how unique can you make an LMG? I don't know.
This one looks like it might be extra strong. It seemed like, if I remember correctly, it had a little slower rate of fire, but it just sounded like a heftier punch each time it was coming out. It was like doof, 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 doof type of thing,
I like a deeper bassy shot.
That's right. And in terms of naming conventions, I do know that many of the weapons and guns in Call of Duty are real guns, so they're based off their real counterparts.
Oh, so maybe it's not their fault.
So I don't know how many liberties they can take. I do, though, hear you constantly like having an existential crisis when we play about like, is it the FFAR or is it the FAR? It's like, I don't fucking know. Call it whatever you want.
I sound nothing like that, but your point is taken. I do bring it up quite often. While we're talking about new weapons, leaking, whatever, this week had a moment where we were playing on Verdansk.
No, it was Rebirth.
It was Rebirth. Okay. You remember better than I do. But it like all of a sudden the vision started to blur, and it was like this little animated graphic thing that was like tuning me into something that lasted about 6 seconds, and then it went away, and I was like, what in the fuck was that? And you had an explanation for me.
Yeah, I actually experienced that yesterday, and it scared the shit out of me, even though I knew all about it. Many of you probably out there have either seen or experienced this as well. It's essentially similar to when they were first going to tease Black Ops Cold War. They started doing weird in-game things during Warzone. It seems like they're teasing the new season. We're going to maybe have some big changes here. Maybe not, though. Probably going to be disappointed. Maybe not. But yeah, the explanation is that's exactly what it is. It's fucking teasing. There's some theories going around, too, pretty wild about what could be coming. More interestingly, though, Cowboy, next time you hop into Verdansk, I want you to float towards Park.
Okay.
And take a look out along the horizon, because I have seen screenshots and videos now that they have updated Verdansk. And there is now like these storm clouds looming over the ocean, and there is a ship that is like approaching Verdansk coast right off of Park. Check it out, dude.
Whoa. I like, you gotta tip your hat. You gotta love some good storytelling, like sneaking it in, getting us excited. It's not just like, flopping it out and saying, this is the new thing. Go wild. It's like, I like the tease, the slow build, building anticipation. You know what I mean? It's like there's a foreplay nature of this, and I'm into it.
Whoa. Slow down there. But yeah, sure. I like it too. I just hope the payoff's a lot better, because before everyone was like, they're going to nuke Verdansk. We're getting a new map. That's what this is about. And then it was like, no, there's a new standalone game. So as we've said, we really hope there's a new map coming. That's hopefully what this could mean. I have a theory that they've been doing all this thing with like, whatever this gas is, the nerve agent gas that's in the fucking game. I think that ship's going to be carrying that shit, and they're going to have like a storyline where they just like basically poison Verdansk. And also, because I got some secret notes I hid away on an old secret agenda that you didn't know was coming, that guess what might be coming to Warzone, buddy?
Zombies.
Yeah, man. Fuck. I had that all. I was going to make it cool. Anyways.
Wait a sec. Was I right? I was just throwing it out there because that was the only thing that they've ever added to zombies. That's the big secret, zombies?
Yes. If you go to a hospital currently, there's some sort of item hidden away. It's in the larger ground area of hospital, and it says like activate zombies or some shit. Nothing happens when you push it, but people are theorizing there's a zombie outbreak event coming to Warzone.
But they have already done that. Like, you gotta do something new. They've done zombies.
Well, it could be new. It could be more like the zombies mode in Cold War.
Oh, but they're just around and you gotta kill them. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds fucking cool. I thought you would be excited.
I mean, I do love a good zombies mode. So I'm into zombies. I just thought it was gonna be something a little more, different and new. I had no idea you were gonna bring that up, and I'm sorry I ruined your parade by guessing that.
Well, I swear you've asked about zombies on multiple episodes. Now you're finally here and they're coming back.
Okay, it's a rumor, first of all. It is a rumor. It's not, there's a button in hospital. We'll see what happens. I'm more fascinated about that ship and the gas that's coming.
So yeah, that's what. I think they could be tied. The gas turns you into a zombie or some shit. I don't know, but we'll keep tabs. We'll gotta give credit there to Cold War News with a Z on Twitter. That's where I first saw that reported. If you guys got any insight, any tips, send it our way. We're trying to keep tabs on this. Exciting times, as I said. Season 2 rapidly approaching. I feel like the game currently, as we said, is at an amazing state of balance, but we had some imbalance right before recording this. We hopped on with a listener, Glock and Load, who had reached out to us. As we said, we're looking to play with our listeners. And if there was ever an on-brand experience, it was today, because we played maybe 3 games on Rebirth. I don't think I got a fucking single kill the whole time.
They were really bad games, It's early, morning sessions, eyes are still sleepy, haven't had the coffee yet, trying to get into it. You can't be too hard on yourself, but they were horrible games. I was definitely playing better than you were. I definitely was holding it down. Had a couple of nice downs with the car. Glock and Load. It's funny you say Glock and Load. I thought it was like I'm such an idiot. I thought it was like G lock and load, like gangster lock and load, but it's Glock and load, obviously, now that I'm seeing you write it out. But he was good. He definitely was carrying the team, you could say.
Yeah, our first game together was our best one, and we finished, he had 5 kills, and you and I had 0 each.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to count damage, man. I had a ton of damage, thousands and thousands of damage points.
Can't verify that one there. I'll take your word for it. I guess our new goal in playing with a listener is, I'm going to just set it right now, is let's try and perform maybe better than them for once. Because so far, as we said, really amateurish experience. If you're out there Glock and load, that was not a representation of our skills. Like, we're not by any means very good, but that was scraping the bottom of the barrel. Am I right?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, well, the news this week in the world of Warzone was Raven Software on February 9th issued a new quote-unquote ban wave, banned something like 50, 60,000 accounts for cheating because they're stepping up their efforts. Have you noticed the lack of cheaters, anything like that?
I kind of have. I haven't noticed any cheaters this week, actually. I don't think, I actually haven't thought about it till you mentioned that, because I saw that announcement as well, that they had banned whatever, like 60,000 people that was ongoing. I think they said that they were even banning more people. There may have been a second tier or a second wave of bans.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I think about it, I don't recall screaming in frustration that the person that killed me was cheating this week.
Yeah, you were just like, God damn it, I suck.
Yeah, it was more just like, I was owning why I was dying. Yeah. Instead of blaming others. I mean, maybe it's a personal journey I'm on, and I've, taken another step on the staircase towards enlightenment. But I don't know. I didn't notice as many cheaters. What about you? We didn't talk about that as we've played this week.
I don't think I've experienced that many cheaters to begin with. I don't know.
Wow.
But I have not experienced any, I would suspect, since that's happened. And I've been seeing the streamers, the people that play this game 8-9 hours a day saying, wow, like, it's refreshing. And as I said, the game is incredibly fun. Like, when you get your ass kicked now, there's not a ton you can blame it on other than yourself.
Yeah.
As we said, they still need to fix the attachments with the Cold War guns, but they're working on it. And I also saw another thing they're working on is, if you've probably noticed, there's been like a weird lack of plates in certain areas on the map. Apparently that's not your imagination. That's some sort of fucking glitch going on. But Raven has confirmed they're looking into it. So hopefully some more plates are on the way there, people.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wanted to ask you about something. It brings up a conversation that we have had in the past, and it comes back to the old PC console debate, which is better, which is not. Did you know that there's people that play on the PC with a controller?
Yeah.
I learned that this week, and it blew my mind.
And there's people that play on console with keyboard and mouse.
Why? What is the benefit of that? What is happening? It seems like two worlds are coming together, and I didn't know that happened.
Well, I mean, for the people let's start first with the people that play with a controller on a PC. I think for most of them, they've played their whole life prior to that on a console, so that's just their muscle memory, the way they interact with a game is built into that kind of motor functions, and they were like, rather than learn, because I've heard when you make the leap, it's like fucking, it's horrible.
Oh man, I've tried a couple, it's really hard.
Yeah, you talked about it, exactly. So they want that updated performance, though, those advantages of, larger field of view, better frame rates, better resolutions, all that shit, they get that, but they also play with a controller. I don't know, maybe they go higher sensitivity. Some of the best Warzone players out there use a controller. I think, doesn't Z-Laner use a fucking controller?
He does, and that's actually who I was referencing when I was like, wait, what? That fucking guy uses a controller? He's a lot better than me, to put it lightly.
So there you go. And then on the flip side, people on a console that play with a keyboard and mouse, they're trying to get the advantage with the movement, because as we said, with the mouse and the keyboard, you can play it insanely high sensitivities. You can do things that you just can't do with a standard controller unless you get like these crazy paddles.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you think about these people when they watch them and they're doing like bunny hops and shit and they're sliding all the time. It's just, if you're doing that on a fucking controller, I don't know how people have played. If you've seen this like claw grip where they're like, I don't even know how humans can operate like that with their opposable thumbs and shit, but it's weird, dude.
I have no idea what you're talking about with a claw grip. You've lost me there. I'll have to look that up.
Well, Google it, Google it, Google it. That's the solution there.
Okay. I just thought it was fascinating that there was inbreeding between the two styles of play, and I didn't know that. I just found that out yesterday, and it kind of blew my mind. And as you said, yeah, really good player. This guy Z Laner, I saw his shit, and I was like, damn, this guy's really good. He's playing with a controller. I never thought it's hard for me to comprehend being that good on a controller because you always write it off as like, God, oh, it's got to be a PC guy. They're too good. They're too good. They got to be point and click.
Yeah, your definition, or I guess your reference of where your skill level is at, I bet after that experience was just frightening.
It was defeating. It was, yeah, I mean, really humbling. Not that I held myself to any kind of high standard, but, let's stop comparing me to Z Laner, basically. That's where we'll leave that.
Well, speaking of streamers, one thing that I kind of randomly came across the other week that was just kind of mind-blowing was I went back to some of the biggest Warzone streamers, and I looked up their first or second video streaming Warzone. And it was just remarkable how night and day it was. Like, it used to be so refreshing. They were like, people weren't running around like we just said, doing bunny hops and fucking sliding and they were instead like communicating. They were kind of scared of engagements and shit. And I was just like, wow, this is like kind of like how I'm playing now a year later. So I don't know. Have you seen anything like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or is this just nostalgia on my part?
I haven't watched those videos, but that is fascinating. And I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but it is fascinating because you think about the psychology over time of very skilled players. Like, how do you approach? It'd be like if you dropped a human on an island and was like, survive, And it's like, in the beginning, it's one thing. A year later, they're acting completely differently. It's like just the social psychology of kind of experts in the field as time goes on. I would love to watch those videos, actually, and I'd like for you to share those with me because I'd like to compare where I'm at with even the really good players, when they first got dropped in, because I'm sure that just the growth rate, they're just skyrocketing in growth when we are probably more stunts. We are much slower learners, you could say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I first started out with this game, I was equipping like on my guns like perks and shit. I was doing like the frangible, I think it's pronounced, disabling one where it's supposed to like slow people down when you're shooting them. And all this other shit. Nobody, the egos were much lower. When you would talk about attachments, it would be like an actual open conversation, back and forth dialogue. Now you try and talk to someone about attachments, and it's like, nope, go to the fucking numbers, dude. Wrong. And it's like, okay, thanks, bro. Maybe your fucking numbers aren't as good as you think because they're always changing.
Wow. It sounds like you've got some. It sounds like somebody upset you. We can talk about it off air if you'd like.
No. I'm just saying, and like when I go on these forums and people are talking about weapons, it used to be like, as I said, debate. Now it's like, everyone thinks they got the best shit and they know it all. Everyone plays this game like almost more robotically, as you said. When you start out, that person's on that island. They're pretty animated. They're like having fun. I mean, not having fun, but they're like trying new things, building a little like hammock so they can have a sense of comfort, being a little human. And then fast forward 2 years later on the island, they're just like eating bugs and grinding their guts into whatever paste they use to make their hut. Like, it becomes more robotic. And that's what Warzone kind of has from a streaming perspective.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and even on a lesser degree, us, like when we first started, even when we started with this podcast, whatever, 2 or so months ago, we were, you were ghost only. You had to be hiding. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't want to be out there. You weren't the assassin that was going to go rush and kill people. You're not dropping Superstore. Like, that's where we were. Even in the short time where we're kind of getting more, deeper into the game and we're thinking and talking about it regularly, playing it all the time, you end up being like, oh, let's fucking push them. Let's fucking run. It's totally different mindset, even for us.
That, I mean, not so much that's 100%. I mean, I didn't equip like a fucking MP5 until like 6 months into Warzone, and it was de facto best short range gun, game changer having that. So you're absolutely right. But I think beyond that, it's like, I think we need to recapture that joy and that kind of like awe of this experience of it's just fucking this wide open war zone where motherfuckers can be killing you from anywhere, and you're driving a truck with music blaring and there's missiles flying over and shit. Like, that's fucking cool. If you had told us that there would be a game like this 10 years ago, we would have been like, fuck, I can't wait.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is going to change. And I think that inevitably the excitement and that kind of like first day at school feeling is going to come back when this new map is released, which I've heard rumors is going to be in the next couple of weeks, as soon as the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Coming around full circle, I think we can experience that, recapture that sense of newness and everyone kind of more on the exploration when we get this new big ass map. So let's see it out there, Raven or Treyarch or whoever the fuck is in charge of that. We're ready. We're hungry. I mean, Rebirth, I've pretty much learned that one already. Like, we're ready for the new one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they're taking the temperature in the room and they know it's time. We need it. We need it.
I don't know if we got anything else though for you this week.
That's pretty as you said, full circle there. If anybody has a recommendation for my secondary, let me know. I got the car. I need a good secondary, baby.
Reach out to the Cowboy with your secondary solutions. We also heard by our listener the Bullfrog recommended, so might want to take a look at that.
I'm going to take a look at that. Yeah, Bullfrog. I just like the name Bullfrog, too.
I do, too. It kind of suits you because you're kind of like a guy on the riverboat, you know? Like, oh, I got my Bullfrog.
What? Wow, I'm not sure if I should be insulted or surprisingly pleased with that.
You're a fisherman guy, man. Remember? Old man in the sea, dude.
Yeah, but what the fuck does that have to... Whatever, let's get out of here.
Bullfrogs are down at the lake, dude. Come on.
Old man in the sea is in the ocean. There's no frogs in the ocean.
Okay, well, we're crossing metaphors here. We're mixing them up.
Okay, whatever.
All right, well, that's going to do it from us this week here. Thanks so much for dropping into the Warzone Amateur Hour. Please go ahead and subscribe. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you haven't already, leave us a review. We'd love to hear that. And check out our YouTube page. Should be having a new breakdown coming down soon. We will talk to you next week. And until then,
good luck in the gulag.